Who exactly is Kenny Omega feuding with? I mean, it's like 12 people. Welcome to the Sean Show. My name is Sean. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Does a lot for us here on the channel. Do it below. Do it now. Now, this is the thing that I did tonight, right? Always say full disclosure because I like to keep it real with y'all, right? So what I did is I taped this show literally already. And when I taped the show already, I taped it talking about what would happen possibly tonight. I had a whole bunch of stuff I had to do. And then I said I was gonna come back, edit it. So it's actually sitting on my computer right now, halfway edited. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and watch AEW and see if I need to redo another show. And I'm glad I did, because I need to do another show. We got a lot we got to talk about. The show originally was titled A Double Champion, Kenny Omega, A Double Champion. That's what it was originally titled. I titled that because there was an announcement that was made on Impact that the AEW did not acknowledge tonight, but there was an announcement that was made on Impact that it was going to be Rich Swann versus Moose, and Moose was going to put up his TNA Heavyweight Championship. Rich Swann was going to put up his Impact Championship. Now, if you don't watch Impact, the TNA Championship is kind of like the FTW gimmick that they did with Taz a while back. It's kind of like that type of vibe. So both of those guys are going to face each other. It's going to be title for title. Whoever wins that match, they will then take that championship and then face Kenny Omega. So the show was originally about how is Kenny Omega going to be able to carry both titles when in actuality this title run has kind of been lackluster. It's been lackluster not because Kenny Omega is not a great athlete. It's because we have to build up the believability of Kenny Omega as a heel. Like, there's a lot going on, right? He was this clean babyface wrestler, right? All about the fans, all about competition, blah, 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 blah. He was one of those type of guys, right? So then all of a sudden he becomes a heel, right? When he becomes a heel, he is then partnered with Don Callis, who's his mouthpiece, and they give us this backstory that we have to digest real quickly about Don Callis, watching him his whole career, blah, 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 blah. That's what they do, right? So then we went from that to then putting him as a head of the stable, pretty much, with the Good Brothers. I don't know if they're a stable, per se, but they're a group. They're two guys. They're three guys together, so they're a group. So now we have a heel, we have a manager with a background, we have a stable that you're leading, and you're the world champion. And let's not forget that you're appearing on Impact as well too, and we're trying to boost the characters and the promotion of Impact as well as boost. It's a lot going on. My original thought process, and it will remain the same, is that you cannot do both until you establish the first thing. Let's talk about the first thing. First thing is first. First thing is you got to take care of home first. And home is AEW. You have to make sure that AEW is straight. AEW needs you to be a champion. There's more than enough talent to go through. There's more of enough storylines to happen there in AEW. There's more of enough things to talk about or branch off of, and etc. in AEW. We don't need you to then be the Impact champion and then help with storylines on Impact. Because the thing is, if you do a disqualification thing and nobody wins, that doesn't really establish the dominance that you might want to do with Kenny Omega's character, because I think you're trying to establish this guy as unbeatable. So you have to have him win the Impact title. You can't have one of these screw job smoz type things, because it's just not going to work out. Who exactly is the person that put this together? That's what I want to know. I want to know this because what's confusing to me, and like I said, that was the show that I was originally doing. So let's talk about now. Let's fast forward to now. The reason why I want to know why or who put the show together, because it's confusing to me, is very, very simple. We had, and I'm just going to do a quick play-by-play of this, right? Kenny Omega comes out. Kenny Omega, cuts the promo against Kingston, right? So, as he's cutting this promo, they have a face-to-face. He punches the world champion. They beat him up, right? Jon Moxley then comes out. Then Jon Moxley's having a fight with, this group. Then Christian comes out, and Christian has a face-to-face with Kenny Omega. And as we're talking about this face-to-face, can somebody get JR a coffee or something, or a list of wrestlers that actually work for the company, or perhaps some stickers that you can put up that says this is what's going on here and this is what's going on? Christian's music literally came on. It literally came on, and he said, "Who is this?" Tony Schiavone had to remind him, "Oh, well, you know who it is." And the thing is in TV and in wrestling, right? If they assume that you didn't watch the pay-per-view. They always assume that. So if there is a debut of somebody and we just saw that person, that's Sunday, then they're going to act like we didn't see that person that Sunday. That's just how they do. So Tony Schiavone is not really, saying who he is. He's waiting for Christian to walk out. And then finally he walks out and then he says who it is. So then Jim Ross says, "Hey, I've never heard that music before. It's brand new to me." Actually, it's not. They used it in Impact. But that's what I'm saying. You can't put this dude out here like this. You got to give him some type of lifeline, because he just doesn't know. He doesn't watch this new wrestling. You think he cares about AEW, or he cares about AEW's paychecks? Just saying. Now, back to what happened in the ring. I'm confused because we literally have Kenny Omega feuding with Jon Moxley, Kingston, Christian, and most likely Rich Swann, because they're gonna do a face versus heel thing, I'm sure. I would love to see Moose against Kenny Omega, but that just wouldn't make any sense. They need a baby face to go against Kenny Omega. That's like 4 dudes. So the problem that I have with AEW is like the show overall, and this is about Kenny Omega, but while we're talking, y'all don't mind, the show overall just had a lot going on. I mean, it was a lot of there's a lot of stables, there's a lot of, breakup brawls and fights. There's just a lot of stuff. One thing I didn't understand, you had a death match on Sunday between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, and like neither dude was limping or bandaged or nothing. Nobody sold that they were hurt. Nobody had any, you literally were blown up. Now, not of course the end of the match, but you literally were blown up. And nobody's, come on, man. I don't, that part I just don't understand. We got to start selling some things. But AEW needs to really pump the brakes on having Kenny Omega do so much so fast. You could slowly build him. We didn't need him in a program with Christian right away. That did not need to happen. We could have put Christian in a lesser feud and kind of built him up. Because even if he's facing a lesser guy, he's Christian, so he's gonna make that guy look good, right? We didn't need him in the world title picture of coming out and doing what he did on night 1. We didn't need that. And I guess too, they were gonna do an interview with Christian, and they just scrapped that as well too. I don't know why they did that either. All in all, you cannot just keep putting Kenny Omega in these situations. You have Kenny Omega that was in this death match, it didn't end well, and I would think, where else do you go from there? I mean, you've had a lights out match with Jon Moxley. That was very, very violent. I think it was more violent than the death match, to be honest with you. Then you had a singles match on AEW with the title change hands. And then now you had a death match. Like, where else can you go? We've done everything that we can do with Jon Moxley, maybe at this point in time. Maybe for right now. Maybe we can revisit that a little bit later. Maybe we can have Jon Moxley kind of build himself back up. But give him something new. A new contender, a new challenger, not Christian. I don't know who exactly it could be because they don't really have guys that are ready, and maybe that's what the problem is. They don't really have contenders that are ready to just step up and that are believable, that's going to face Kenny Omega. And that's probably what the problem is, why you just put so many guys in. But you can't just keep putting guys in hoping that if I just give him a lot to do, he's going to get over. No, you're going to get over when there's a storyline that's straight from point A to point B, that's believable, and there's no question as to who is what or who does what. But you're doing too much too fast. I cannot keep up with how many people this dude's feuding with, nor am I going to tune in to Impact to see how he's going to start his feud there. That's too much for a wrestling fan with all these different options. You have my eyes on AEW. Let me get convinced that he's AEW champion first, and then once we have that done, then we can move on to possibly having a double champion in Kenny Omega. But as always, guys, I want to know what you think. I want to know what last time we had a great discussion here, and we want you to join the family. If you, this is a party here. It's always a party when we have these type of conversations. We have these very good debates where you can say whatever you say. I answer everything. I don't care what it is. I answer everything. So let's have a debate down below in the comments. Do you think that Kenny Omega is doing too much right now? He's in too many different programs right now. Or do you like the approach of him feuding with everybody and their mama? You let me know in the comments below, and I will meet you there, and we're going to talk about it. And remember to subscribe, like, and share the Sean Show, and I will see you here next time. Take care. Peace.